anyone in here with Jamie and I? Ew, who the fuck? Did you guys hear that? What the fuck? Who is that? That's scary.
You're recording, right?
Yeah.
There was definitely a man talking out here.
We are a group of investigators.
And I didn't even turn it on,
Skeptics.
FYI, and it's on again in the middle of nowhere.
Adventure seekers.
I want you.
And even one who is a bit apathetic.
That's it.
Join us on our adventures of diagnosing the mysteries of the paranormal. One of the oldest U.S. Army posts in Utah, Fort Douglas, residing in what is now the University of Utah campus, was established in 1862 on a rise overlooking Salt Lake City. The Fort Douglas Military Museum, housed in an 1875 building, has served various functions over the years, including an office space, fire station, mess hall, post office, and supply storage. A century after it was built, however, it became a military museum in 1975. Reports of death and suicide at the fort exist, along with a few murders. The land at the fort is associated with terrible and tragic events. The cemetery, located near the museum, is the resting place of 19 foreign enemies and 2 prisoners of war, plus the remains of those fallen at Fort Douglas. We split up to begin our investigation. The guys head to the library while the gals stay in the main museum. Housed with artifacts, staff report hearing footsteps and seeing shadow figures in this part of the museum.
Okay, so I want you to be watching that.
Okay.
And I'm going to shuffle until that tells you to stop. So you're going to ask it, say no,
Okay.
or yes, whatever,
Okay.
when you want me to stop. Shuffle.
That was fun. I want you. Show me the way every day. Just kidding.
So ignore
Day
her.
after day.
You know Jesus is watching you. Stab you in the mouth and the tit.
So, Brigid, I think the one question that's on everyone's mind out there is, did the spirits, in fact, and I quote, show you the way? Damn it.
Okay, so we're doing some cards here.
Yes, which...
And what are we trying to manifest right now?
We're trying to have whatever spirit wants to talk to us communicate through the cards by telling us who they are or what they want to tell us about their life.
Prior to the beginning of the tarot read, Jamie and Brigid paused to grab an item from our equipment bag. Keep an eye on the geophone footstep tracker in the hallway. The red pulsating light is normal at baseline, while green indicates nearby activity. Does something follow them immediately back into the room upon their return?
How's it going?
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, we here.
Alright.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Alright. Okay, so I didn't remember if we determined if it...
Sarah begins the tarot read, pulling 3 cards to help identify the story of the museum. The selected cards include Judgment, the Empress, and the Magician. While reading into Judgment card, the ladies are stopped by an audible disruption.
The image of resurrection tells you to acknowledge a wonderful change. It does not say you should change or even that you can change, but that you already have changed in some deep way. Magician and their tools, yeah? Magician and both men and women, the Empress in a reading signifies a passionate approach to life, emotion, and sensation, rather than thought.
While the Judgment and Empress cards don't immediately strike meaning into our investigation, the Magician is definitely of note.
As a reversed card, which it is, the Magician can mean that energy becomes blocked or disrupted. Projects fall apart, optimism drains away, the person that finds it hard to focus. Nevertheless, the presence of the card states that the power is there, but that something is holding this power back or denying it.
Yeah.
As we come to find throughout our investigation, and especially afterwards, there is definitely a disruption in our audio equipment that occurs both during our time at the museum and even transferring over into our home as well. More to come on that later.
This keeps stopping. I keep starting it and it keeps stopping. It's really interesting.
No thanks.
Okay, Sarah, introducing something a little bit new.
Yep.
With a tarot read into a ghost hunt. This is something that you've been into a little bit with time and kind of brought to the table as an idea to introduce to this. So talk to me about your thoughts as to why you wanted to do this first off.
I did tarot reading a little bit as a younger person, and it was kind of something my sisters and I used in conjunction with a Ouija board. And
oh boy, that's a can of worms for another episode, I think.
Sure.
Well, with the Magician card in particular, I mean, you saw clearly you were the person doing the tarot read. You heard the explanation, kind of the abbreviated version that I stated, and that you read off. Do you think the Magician played a role in the audio disruptions?
I guess the way I look at the cards is that it's revealing things that we may or may not see that's going on. And so I just think it's interesting that was one of the readings, that it revealed itself was not that the card caused that, but that it was saying that whatever is there is causing that.
I see. So you do think the two perhaps are linked?
Yeah, could be.
All right. Because not only are the things that we showed there, but there were also some things that happened after. My TV audio, which has been working great for years, we turned it on the next morning and no longer would sync to the video. My Zoom recording, the audio no longer worked as of the next day. Very odd. Do you think that's playing a role too?
I don't know. I think it's always difficult to be able to determine what's coincidence and what is, I don't know.
Now, the Zoom audio is interesting though, right? Because I didn't find out until that next Monday. I think we investigated on a Friday. The next Monday, I had like a really important board meeting for my day job, for my work. And it got to the point where I couldn't log on. And I was the past president of this board and they expected me to be there. I had to present. And so I quickly shoot a text over to you, the girls, and to Jason. And it was like, hey, ever since we went to Fort Douglas, I think these ghosts are messing with my audio. But I didn't text you guys. I texted the current board president and I was met with just a question mark response. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, it was awkward. So anyway, the Magician you feel was revealing of a spirit who was there, who perhaps did in fact alter our audio while we were there.
Or may have been the cause of that, yeah.
Or may have been the cause of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add about your tarot read? I thought it was great. I think the people are going to love it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I guess no.
Keeping you on your toes, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, in the library, Jason and myself investigate an area filled with weaponry from wars. While mostly quiet, the end of our session becomes quickly eventful. Our SOS camera begins to pick up activity in the doorway. Then our new IR camcorder dies after only 25 minutes of filming, to then be quickly followed by an audible growl. Now, unfortunately, our movement with our digital audio recorder makes this growl difficult to identify. You can faintly hear it in the background. Go ahead and take a listen here.
I can do both. What the fuck was that sound? What? It was like a growl.
Trying to investigate the growl that we just heard, we experienced our second audio disruption of the night with the audio from the dying camcorder not picking up Jason's voice.
Hey.
The girls come in and they have an
Okay.
appropriate reaction when we inquire if they were the source of the growl.
Yeah, was that you guys?
We were chatting. Did you guys talking?
No.
A growl? Like a bobcat?
Like a...
Really?
Yeah, that's why we stood up and we're looking around and we just thought there were some kids walking over.
So, Jamie, the look on your face when I first asked you if you heard a growl or if you made a growl, you had a big smile on your face. What was your first reaction, or what was the first thought that went through your head when I asked you if you had just heard a growl?
Well, I thought maybe Sarah growled from outside.
Which I would not put past her.
Yeah, she had run around to the other side of the building because we were trying to scare you guys.
So you were trying to scare us.
We were.
Was it you?
No. So Annie and I decided we're going to play it off as we're just walking in and we're going to make a lot of noise. So we were walking by the windows
Okay.
into the building and we were trying to talk loudly so that you could hear us while
Okay.
Sarah ran around the back side of the building and she was going to try and tap on the glass because the podcast we heard, they said they heard tapping when in the gun room. So I thought, well, that would be hilarious.
The glass is like 10 feet in the air.
And it's also not in that room on the back side of the building. So I thought Sarah went back there and maybe growled. So that was the look on my face because I thought,
Okay.
what did Sarah do?
But it wasn't you
It
guys
wasn't
as far
not
as
us.
you know.
No, it was not us.
Unfortunately, our audio did not do a good job picking it up, but I did hear a growl, but the look on your face was just absolutely priceless. Now, aside from that, you had also mentioned something to me in our most recent investigation that you have not had a clear paranormal experience,
Correct.
correct?
Mhm.
All right. We're going to change that in weeks to come.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, anything about the investigation that stood out to you or anything else you want to comment on?
No, not really.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank
Okay.
you. We head back over to the main museum where Sarah was doing a read on the Fort Douglas history for our show intro. Here we encounter yet another audio disruption from an audio source that at other times during our investigation worked just fine. Of note, she was standing just feet away from the location of the tarot card read, where the magician card was pulled, suggesting that energy would be blocked or disrupted. Later, Jason sets up a REM pod in the museum and receives an immediate response. I'm going to walk up to this to try and see if... Let's reset it. Yellow? How can it go to yellow without going to the others?
It was yellow. As soon as Chad picked up the camera, it went dead.
I didn't think it could go to yellow without hitting the other ones first. See if you can walk up to that and make it just go to yellow. So yellow's the far one.
Yellow is
I'm in
this.
IR. Oh, you can just on that side. So there was something on that side. Now it's staying there again. Now it's gone.
somebody in this room with us?
Did you hear that down here? Yeah. Hello, who's here with us? Take control of what? What? Are you associated with some of the artifacts of war? That's right.
What artifact are you associated with?
Museum? Which one in the museum? In the where? One more time, please. Sorry, can you repeat that? Tell me when I'm getting closer to you. Pretty close. How about now? Can you show yourself to me? Who?
Are you just messing with us?
Where's that sound? It is gone. You're right.
Which sound was that?
Yeah. Voice. Say one of our names, please. My name's Chad, and this is Jason. Can you repeat our name? Okay, Jason, so you just saw the scene of events there. One thing that we didn't put on there is right before that REM pod went off, you and I had heard this high-pitched squeal or sound or something with our ears.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us a bit about that and that entire sequence that you just watched.
Yeah, so we actually heard it sounded like a distant choir, kind of a high-pitched singing where they kept kind of a constant pitch.
Right.
And it would come and go, it'd last for 5 seconds and then be off for, a few minutes, and then we'd hear it later on. So it wasn't like HVAC related because the timing was just too short.
And you had on headphones, right? Linked to your digital recorder, and you could hear it through that.
Yeah, and we actually caught it on the digital recorder.
Yeah, it was just very odd.
Like a high-pitched.
The REM pod was interesting. The spirit box. What do you make of that whole session? Because I don't think you and I fully appreciated the sequence of events that was going on in real time. But seeing that back now.
Yeah, those responses were in direct response to the questions, and at least I didn't pick that up in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always hard to try and place those things as they're going to see if they actually make any sense or not.
Yeah.
Final question. Have you ever been called a by a spirit?
That is a first for me.
It's the first here at Dr. Ghost Hunters, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought we'd been nice to the ghost, but apparently we did something.
We gotta try harder next time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna slap to sync up.
To end our investigation at the Fort Douglas Military Museum, we head to the basement to an area known as the Poker Room. Containing original wall structure and flooring, this area was thought to act as a gentleman's area of sorts where women were not thought to be welcomed. Banter and misogyny are not lost on the spirits that reside in this area. So naturally, we grab the girls, grab our gear, and head into the poker room for our investigation.
Are you upset that women are in here? An understatement. You want us to leave? Put out those cigars. Those voices. Are we not supposed to be in here? Residual?
Is it haunted and then residual?
Should we
That
go?
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right.
Why would it call itself?
Residual. Sarah's thinking something she just won't say. I know she's thinking. Should we go? Why don't you like running down here? Whoa. What
I said, you're right.
do you say? You're right.
I heard something. Is it boots or whoops? My app just died.
Oh.
It just shut down.
What did the app?
The app.
Is it the ghost tune?
Yeah,
Or a different one?
the ghost too. We conclude our investigation with an Estes session with Jamie and Brigid. Jamie has a pair of headphones that are hooked up to a spirit box, while in the background we can audibly hear the ghost tube spirit box app running.
Recorder's map.